Once again, ladies and gentlemen, it's us. I'm FatmanStephens on YouTube. We got Bubby here.
I'm the Necromancer.
True Greatness, Mark Kendrick. And of course, the legend, Jamal Esquire Holly. And ladies and gentlemen, we're back again. This is going to be the second part of our gaming debate. We didn't cover as many topics as I thought we were going to. So, ladies and gentlemen, last week was E3. I don't know how close you guys follow E3, but I thought it was a pretty good event. I know you did. Really.
I made love to what Sony was putting down.
So let's go with it. Jamal, what did you like from E3? What is something that you're looking forward to from the show?
I would like to say, as far from what I saw from E3, I'm glad I didn't see that many RPGs. Yes! Nintendo, I thought the system was overrated. It was good, but I don't like the controller. I think the controller is too big. It's way bigger than the Xbox original controller, so I think it's going to be tough to get used to. The controller's too bulky, but I like the touch screen, and the graphics, thank God, is better for once. But that's all Nintendo really had for me. I can't wait for Smash Bros. To beat them in it.
We're gonna play that after this, but
maybe we should put some of those videos on, and we can show you the character he uses.
All right, but besides Nintendo, what are some games that you like from the show? Is there anything that you're looking forward to this year or next year? Something that got tickled your fancy?
My dreams came true as far as video games. I am proud to say that Xbox has finally done what I told Bus they should have done 3 months ago. YouTube is coming to the Xbox. I called it.
All the games that he could have said. I'm talking about. I said games. What did he say?
I just wanted to get that out the way.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
YouTube, something that PS3 can already do.
Okay.
Mark everybody.
Can you say shots fired?
Oh, I think I just heard some shots.
Carl reference.
Halo 4 is coming out.
That
was big. Gears of War 3 is coming out. That's big, which PS3 doesn't have.
Once again, we discussed this last week, and you evaded my question, but
your
opinion does not matter when it comes to that.
Halo Anniversary Edition is coming out.
We just try to keep
can't wait.
PS3.
Can't wait for those games. There's games you can wait for, like Infamous 2.
It just came out in June. So.
Yeah, because we want our games to be perfect when we play them.
No, it just came out. Anyway.
Uncharted, those games, we could wait for those kind of games. So.
All right, are you done? Anything else?
PS3 was a disappointment. I didn't see any games that they had.
Because you probably didn't look at the show.
So, and I looked at the show. I didn't hear anything for the PS3. But
folks, he looked at Xbox.
That's all he saw.
It was Xbox, Nintendo, and the other system.
And the other.
Well, how did you feel about E3? How close did you follow it?
E3, folks. E3 blew me, for lack of better terms, the heck away.
All right, Xbox.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna be biased in what I say this week. Xbox put their thing down. I gotta go with my friend here. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna be biased. Sony put their thing down. I enjoyed Xbox. The one thing I did enjoy from Xbox, which I may believe is multi-system, is Knights of the Old Republic. The new Knights of the Old Republic.
Oh yeah.
That gameplay looks epic with capital EPIC. I honestly can't enjoy. I honestly can't wait to play it. Sony, what they did was, for lack of better terms, decided when they were going to do their show, I guess they said, well, if they're going to hack our network and make our credibility go down, well, at E3 we're going to spread our butt cheeks and drop all kinds of deuces on them. Because what they did was they released.
Probably for you guys.
They released, I'm pretty sure everyone who watched E3 saw it, the $499 deal of the HD 3D TV. I love saying that, HD 3D TV. That's awesome. Say that 5 times fast, folks.
Call it a seizure. But
then you get the game system and the glasses that work with not just that TV, but also other TVs that are to come with it. Then they release not one, but 2 different types of the PS Vita. God,
that's amazing.
PS Vita 3G and 3G Wi-Fi. And along with that, it has not one but two touch. It has two touch apparatuses on it. The front has the screen, and then the back. Honestly, if you haven't seen it, just watch as they create a track in Mod Nation Racers using only their digits.
That's fantastic.
It is awesome.
Next generation.
And folks, I mean, I haven't honestly put it up yet, but if you get a chance, check out DeviantArt. Look up Alcarna. That's my name on DeviantArt, and I love the draw. That system is like God. That's his second coming for game systems. That's what she said. But yes, E3 honestly this year was extremely great. I did not get a chance to catch the Nintendo portion, but I do want to catch the Nintendo portion because I want to see what the hype is. I was told good things about everything. Everything does have a good point. There's usually a backdraw to a lot of things. But in all honesty,
that means Xbox too.
I just can't wait.
I'm about to go into them.
I just can't wait to actually get my hands on some of the new stuff this year.
Amen.
Like in all honesty, I want to be just like my bro here, and I want to have every next gen system.
Yeah.
This man's not biased. He has what he likes. What he likes. I like what I like.
Touche.
All right. Well, I know Mark didn't really follow E3, so he'll come back. We'll come back to Mark a little bit on their subject. But here it is. It's my turn, ladies and gentlemen. What did I think of this year's E3? I watched every press conference. Nintendo, Microsoft, Sony, EA. Who else had press? Ubisoft. I watched them all live when they aired. What did I think? Microsoft was up first. So let's go with them. Microsoft had the ball. Here's what you did with it. Here's the ball. You dropped it again, Microsoft.
Halo 4.
Here we go. Can I talk? Thank you.
Well, you dropped it.
Here you go. You showed Modern Warfare 3. Looked amazing. Tomb Raider looked amazing. Gears of War 3 looked amazing. But two of those three are coming out on PS3. Come on now, why are you showing me this? I know they look amazing for your console, but I don't want to see it. Then what you do, you focus on the stupid Kinect again. You don't show the hardcore games. I do not want to play sports games coming home from work. I want to sit down and play my game console. Sit down, play, and do the buttons. I don't want to move around, flailing around like an idiot. It's not what I want to do. No, shut up. I'm not done. Shut your mouth. Shut it! I'm getting into this. Yeah, so now it's the Halo collection. I'm not gonna lie. I'm liking the anniversary edition. I might actually pick it up. I'm not gonna lie. But you also showed Mass Effect 3, which I liked. But you didn't show Saints Row. You didn't show anything in these other big games that I wanted to see. Then Connect was too much, and you ended the show with a Halo 4 announcement, which is good. I'm not a Halo fan, but you do see that Halo is a big series for the Xbox. So I think that's a good step, and it's gonna be a new trilogy. That's good for them. But overall, they get a C+. They did okay, but they did not show. If they were going to show Connect, I need to see hardcore games. I want to see games that I want to play that maybe pick up the Connect. It's $150, so I want to get my money's worth. I just don't want to play with my family. Like I do want to play with them, but I also want to play by myself.
That's what she said.
So very good. I'm sorry, Jamal. Were you going to say something? You want to rebuttal? I'm about to go.
And then I don't mean to cut in, but the PS Vita. Come on now, can you get any more affordable than $250 for the 3G system? Then $300 in additional $50 for 3G and Wi-Fi. What more can you ask for?
Nintendo's 3DS price now.
Exactly. So. What more can you ask for than handheld PlayStation 3? Uncharted.
They're gonna get Infamous on there eventually.
And it has the same flipping graphics.
Yeah,
Come on.
It looks amazing. I'm sorry, Jamal. What are you gonna say? Are you gonna say some kind of rebuttal?
Xbox is really good. They got this thing where
Xbox is really good.
They got this program coming out the same time as YouTube called Bang, and
who cares?
How
I'm not talking
cool
about
is
this.
it to sit down drinking some tea with marshmallows and you don't use a controller. You use your voice and you say
Jamal.
Titanic.
Wait.
You say Titanic.
Yeah, that's voice recognition.
Guess what happens when you say Titanic? The movie pops up.
Are you serious?
Okay,
the movie pops up.
What if you're getting to an argument with your wife?
Jamal, that's cool and all. But what does that have to do with gaming?
I was gonna say that.
Okay, you can do voice recognition in Mass Effect 3, but what do I need to do that for? I'm not talking to them. I don't want to do that. If I'm going to use the Kinect, I want to use my body for it. I want to have fun with it. Like, the only game I thought was actually going to look pretty good was Rise of Nightmares, and nobody even saw anything about that. So they ripped out the ball from me. C plus. They didn't show the hardcore games.
Go to the next.
Look, when I compare Xbox, when I compare Microsoft to a press conference, I compare it to 2008 because that was the year I knew I was going to get 360. I knew between 360 and PS3, 360 was going to be my console. They showed Fallout 3, they showed Final Fantasy 13, they showed some other games. They showed a lot of good games that year. That's what I compare it to. And when you look at that press conference, and this year's, it's horrible. All right, so let's go to Sony's next. Sony did.
Yeah, Sony.
Sony's next. They did a lot of good stuff. They showed, I think they showed Street Fighter Cross Tekken. They showed that Cole from Infamous is going to be in there. I thought that was a good addition. They announced that they're going to announce the PSP remakes of God of War. The two ones they're coming on PS3 remastered. I'm looking forward to that. Team Ico, they finally announced Ico and Shadow Colossus coming out September 27th. So I'm looking forward to that. PlayStation Vita looks amazing. I find a good PlayStation portable console. Even though the PSP is great and all, but this looks like it's got next generation graphics and everything. Can't wait for it. They did a good job. I mean, they showed the games. They didn't focus too much on the Move, which is good because I'm not a fan of the Move. And I forgot they showed Slide 4.
It's in the Wii.
Shut your mouth. Doesn't matter.
All of them are like.
They're all. Thank you. They all copy.
I mean, Connect is not like Nintendo Wii, but okay.
It's like PlayStation Eye, which is the Eye toy came out on PlayStation 2. Thank you. Do your research. Talk to a hardcore gamer. I have no life. Anyway,
this is true.
Thank you, Mark. But Sony did their thing. Sony gets a B plus. They did the thing. I didn't see any. I didn't see the Triple A series. I didn't see no God of War. I didn't see a God of War 4 announcement like I thought I was going to see, or a new like home console. But that's fine. You guys do your thing. I'm looking forward to Resistance 3. Looking forward to Uncharted 3. Of course, I'm looking forward to that.
That look great.
And Sony did your thing. Keep it up. PS Vita looks good. You guys are looking strong. Okay, let's go to Nintendo. Did your thing. They announced the 3DS. The only thing they didn't do was they didn't announce a lot of games for the Wii. They had one game for the Wii, and that was Zelda Skyward Sword. Then they went to the 3DS. They announced five big games for the 3DS. Luigi's Mansion 2, Mario Kart, Star Fox.
Did they bring back Star Fox?
Super Mario,
cool,
and there was another one. But
when is it coming out?
What?
The new Nintendo system.
Nintendo console's coming out next spring or something like that. They announced a lot of good games for 3DS. That was good. I'm looking forward. See, those hardcore games are gonna make me buy a 3DS.
That's what it's called.
That's their first. That's their handheld. The new console called the Wii U, which is a dumb name.
Oh, Wii U. Wow.
But the Wii U looks fantastic. A lot of people think that the controller is the console. That's not the console. It's just a controller. The console looks like a rounded Wii. But the thing I'm looking forward to is a lot of people aren't talking about that. They got Batman Arkham City coming out for the Wii U.
Heard about it.
Oh my God, folks!
Wow.
If you have not seen the YouTube video, watch the YouTube video. I swear to God, you will think it's a movie. I swear to God, you will think it's a movie. It looks that epic. I saw it for the first time. I called my friend a flat flipping liar on the strength that he showed me this, and I said, "This is a movie that you're showing me. Where's the game?" And then at the end, they actually give you all the information as though it was a game. I was mortified in a good way.
But yeah, they announced Batman Arkham City is coming to the Wii U, Darksiders 2, Ninja Gaiden 3. These are big series, all coming to the Wii U.
Wait,
I would say Batman, but that's about it. That's only big series.
Okay, Ninja Gaiden 3 is not a big series. Whatever, you're insane. Darksiders one.
Okay.
Isn't all those games kind of dark for Nintendo?
And that's where I'm going. They're focusing on the mature now. They're not just focusing on the kids or whatever. And also, they showed the best thing about Nintendo press conference was that they showed the Zelda game for the Wii U. It was like a tech demo. Those graphics for Zelda were fantastic. It just looked like that's the next generation Zelda game I wanted to play when they announced PS3 and 360 back in 5, 6. I just literally almost had a heart attack. I'm a little skeptic on how big the controller. I agree with you, Jamal. I'm a skeptic, and it's kind of gimmicky. Where I think it's gonna be a lot of gimmick-based games where you're just hitting the controller to the screen and everything. But I'm looking forward to what they're gonna do. And actually, the best announcement was that we're getting Smash Bros. 4 coming out for 3DS and the Wii U,
which I will dominate.
And they're going to have some kind of connectivity between them, but they didn't show anything about it. But Nintendo, Once again, second year in a row for me, in my opinion, they won E3. They get an A. You know, just showing the Wii U, showing that they got the hardcore games for the 3DS, which a lot of people were, you know, bashing. And the fact that Skyward Sword is coming up this year, they won E3 for me, in my opinion. That's just.
So, what would you give all 3 letter ratings? Why?
C+ for Microsoft, B+ for
PS.
Sony, basically, and A- for Nintendo. Only reason because they didn't show Super Smash Bros. 4.
Okay.
That's just my opinion. That's how I feel. I mean, I'm a Nintendo fan first, but if Microsoft showed more hardcore games, even if I didn't like them, I'd respect it. I don't like Modern Warfare. I don't like Gears of War as much, but I respect what they offer the system.
I can agree.
So.
Even Halo. The Halo.
Yeah, I don't like Halo at all, but
you gotta respect
the fact that they announced Halo 4 at a press conference. Yeah. You know what else made Microsoft that good? A press conference. An hour before it came on, they announced they had a page was leaked, and all the games that they were going to announce was on that page. So everybody knew Halo 4 was coming, the Halo Anniversary Collection, and Dance Central 2. That's the 3 big games they announced. But that's how I feel. Any other final comments before we move on to the next topic? Jamal, I know you look pretty upset.
All I can honestly say is I just hope E3 gets better and better every year.
Oh, that did my next question. What's the game that you like most from E3? Is there one game in particular that you thought, you know?
Believe it or not, I'm going to have to be a little greedy here, and I'm going to have to name 2. Believe it or not, I have never played this game, but just the graphics have sucked me in to the point that I want to play it, and I will get a PS Vita or a PS3, and that's Uncharted. Believe it or not, I want a 360. And in all honesty, Microsoft, please, some form of handheld. Come on.
One day.
You can't walk around with an Xbox 360. Who cares about apps?
And Microsoft got the technology to do it.
That's the apps. But anyway, honestly, I want to play that new Knights of the Old Republic. Definitely.
I can answer that question.
Mark, do you have a game? Batman? Arkham City?
What?
Arkham City?
Well,
it makes me just thinking about that game.
The obvious one, the guaranteed one, is Madden. Because the new features and the more authentic they're making it look. It looks like it's going to be really dope. Or really decent. And then obviously Arkham City. Like far as non-sports related, by far Batman. Even though I didn't see that part of E3 because I was over here when Sony was, during the Sony press conference. But besides my sporting games that I get, like, when I have a system each year, Batman Arkham City clearly by far is the next game I want to play. So.
Jamal, what's some top games you want to play from E3? Put your hands on.
From what I saw,
yes.
I can't say Halo 4.
Good
Show me gameplay. Anniversary is basically a remake with better graphics. So I was impressed when I saw Gears of War 3. So that's
I was too. That was really impressive looking.
That big monster. So I'm gonna have to go with Gears of War 3. I can't wait to play it.
Okay. For me, I know that Jamal, you don't like the series, but Saints Row 3 for me. I'm sorry. Saints Row 3 is what I want Grand Theft Auto 4 to be. It's over the top, doesn't take itself too seriously. Like you can just go around, you can just do wrestling moves on people. Did you guys see like the gameplay for it? The guy was running down the street, he just gave a guy a neck breaker. Like how fun is that? And it looks fun. That's what video games are for me. I don't want to get into like a deep story. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. But Saints Row looks like a game.
That's what RPGs are for.
Sometimes I have to go home, I'm gonna pop Saints Row 3 in and just play and have fun, a good time with it. So Saints Row 3 for me, and then Skyward Sword because I'm a huge Zelda fan. But those 2 games I look forward to most at E3.
And Capcom, Marcus, excuse me, Capcom, I'm begging you, please put the next flipping Monster Hunter on PSP or Vita.
Alright, let's go to our next topic. Our next
Monsters
topic
are
is
epic.
going to be...
We want to play them handheld.
Next going to be underrated and overrated games that we all played. Let's start with underrated games. Jamal, what is a game that you think, a game that was underrated, nobody looked at, and I think I actually want to know your answer because we might have the same answer, that nobody gave enough credit to.
All the time, any system.
Any system, just any game. You can name give me between 1 to 3.
I guess I'll do 3 at the most.
Hopefully you name 1.
Right off the bat, I'm gonna go with Just Set Ready.
That's a game. Thank you. Cheese and rice.
That's my number 1. I never had that much fun to this day with a game like that.
I gotta go buy. It's probably like $3 or something like that.
You talking about underrated?
Yeah.
Number 2 would probably. Well, I just had the game.
Classic Holly.
Okay, I said Justin, and I had another game. I just had it. Comeback. Comeback. I just had
Honestly,
it.
for the
Underrated games that you don't.
I'll go back
Just
to the
had-
90s. I would honestly say Perfect Dark to me was one of the most underrated games because it came out right after GoldenEye, and GoldenEye got all this hype, which
Right.
and for
Mark with the game of knowledge, ladies and gentlemen.
rightly so. I mean, that to me is the greatest first-person shooter game I've ever played or played all the way through. So to me, Perfect Dark just came out at the wrong time to really get the just deserved that it should have got. So.
I'm actually surprised Mark even deep answer like that. Bobby, 1 or 3. Keep it short.
I'll probably just speak on one that'll take up all 3 for me. My opinion, most underrated, Final Fantasy X-2. I say that strictly because they readapted an old system to new school. Honestly, you can't say many games do that nowadays. I mean, come on, you have Final Fantasy X characters hitting for godlike damage, wearing different costumes, and then it's 3 girls. Come on, guys, 3 girls.
Charlie's Angels, Barbie.
Yeah, I mean, like the fact that they would destroy Charlie's Angels.
They would.
But I mean, come on, it's just awesome. Like, I mean, I'm not gonna say the storyline was good because the storyline, honestly, we're gonna have to use a "that's what she said" because it sucked just that hard.
Nice.
But the story. All right. If you don't mind me, I'll try to keep it short. The storyline. Okay. Oh.
No spoilers.
Honestly, if they haven't played 10-2 yet, they'll never play it. It's like here's what I don't get. Titus and Yuna are the future of what happened in the past. Really? Who cares? I'm a singer. Hey, I'll guard you. Oh no, they're shooting. I'll defend you. Now I'm dead, but my spirit's not. And then if you train your characters, the final boss, you can honestly just put on autopilot and walk away. When you come back, you'll have a nice ending to watch. Yeah, that's about it for me.
Jamal, I saw you getting.
Yeah, I'll finish my next 2. Another game I
don't do that.
it's gonna be. I'm gonna put these 2 games at 2.
Alright.
Because they're the same game.
Is this most overrated?
Yeah.
Underrated.
We all know that Mario Kart started the whole, racing and blowing people up. I really felt Diddy Kong was a great game, and people didn't, give it the props. And I also thought that Crash Bandicoot.
Thank you. That's the one.
Thank you.
Their racing game was really good too. So those are both at 2. And 3, I'm gonna have to go with. I think you're gonna like this one. When people think of wrestling games, they say No Mercy.
Yeah, that's
Here Comes the Pain.
What?
People don't talk about this game. I didn't have it, but when I played it at Marcus' house, I loved their reckoning. Those are my 3. Those are my 3.
I want to
add on something. That Crash Bandicoot one, I would say the whole series is underrated.
Yeah,
the whole series, Crash Bandicoot, the whole series. I had all 3 games, and I beat all 3 games. That's a
lot, actually. I'm not gonna lie, because
to me, the whole series is underrated.
One more, folks. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. I am biased when it comes to certain types of games. I love my RPGs. Most underrated game, for me, one of the most underrated games. It was introduced to me by my younger brother here. Skies of Arcadia.
This is a good topic. This is a good topic.
Skies of
my God! Get out of my head! She said.
I love it.
Skies of Arcadia is the best Dreamcast RPG. It's probably the best RPG of the generation.
I would love to see many remakes of that and Evolution if you have.
Oh, mommy! Stop!
I'm sorry.
God, I gotta think of more now.
Those games, folks.
I got 2.
Gaming companies, please hear us. Watch this. Listen to this.
He looked at it.
Alright, okay. Can I go? Alright.
It's kind of like Bible study all over again.
God.
So sorry.
I'm gonna pick a couple because they're about Pokemon. Jet Set Radio Future, definitely. Skies of Arcadia, they're definitely underrated games that I played. Especially Skies of Arcadia. I got Skies of Arcadia when it came out, and a year later, and that just blew my mind. RPGs, you know. Just like Radio Future, Jamal was kind enough to let me borrow it, and I just loved it. I didn't play Jet Grind Radio. I think that's the first one, but Jet Set Radio Future is a game that I think that's not gonna be the last time you hear that, because that's going to be my one of my answers for the next topic too. But it's just a great game, and I love it. But the 3 games I think are underrated. Probably Bubby was only going to know the first one, and I said it last week too. Alundra for the PlayStation.
Most definitely.
Alundra is like an action adventure platformer game. It's kind of like Zelda, and it's really dark. It's got a great story.
Yes.
And it's just nobody ever played it though. You know, it came out in like '99. It actually came out on my birthday, '98, I think.
And if you don't mind me piggybacking right quick, Alundra 2, it's not as great.
It's like
not as great at all.
I don't know. It's just horrible. But
it completely steps away from the element.
Exactly. But Alundra 1 is one of my favorite games. Just going down in history, is one of my favorite games of all time. Another underrated RPG series for PlayStation 1, Breath of Fire 3.
What?
Breath of Fire 3.
I can definitely agree.
Nobody talks about that game when it's tons of RPGs, and they try to like bring it back with Breath of Fire 5, and didn't really see it. But it had a great jazz soundtrack. The gameplay was classic, and I like going from a kid to like a teenager, and the whole story. The Dragon Gene thing was great. Everything about the game was good. Another underrated game. It's coming this generation. Nobody probably ever heard of it. It's called Deadly Premonition. It's it's the craziest, is the worst, the wackiest game you'll ever play. It came out for $20 on the Xbox 360 last year. It's 360 exclusive, but they never talked about it really. You play as a guy, Agent New York. He's investigating a murder, and that's all I really want to say about the game, because the rest of the story I want people to just go out and really experience it. It's one of those games that you gotta experience. It's a survival horror, like open world. It's like if Grand Theft Auto met Silent Hill, and the story, the music is so like cheesy and it's so inappropriate at times. You can't hear people talking when they're supposed to talk. You gotta play the game. Deadly Premonition will go down. It's my favorite game of last year, even with Heavy Rain and God of War 3. But Deadly Premonition is my most underrated game of all time. And I wish I still had it, because I would show you, y'all crack up.
I want to most definitely agree with him on one thing. Breath of Fire, what they did from 1 to 3, they were all great. 3 was spectacular. They didn't really so much as drop the ball on 4, because 4 offered you a new element as literally becoming the final boss in the game, and you having to contend with your overtrained party if you made the wrong decision. But that was great. So it's like you're technically still the main character, and the final boss is your party.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Whereas you could switch it around and have to fight the last person. I won't say any names. The game is awesome.
No spoilers.
I enjoyed that game to the fullest. Another one, if I apologize, guys, for taking up so much time, is, and if my friend Brandon was here, he'd be on my shoulders.
I know what you're gonna say.
Xenogears.
Nobody's
I don't want Xeno bullcrap. I don't want Xeno bullcrap 1, 2, and 3, because honestly, I'm not gonna lie. Even if I took the time and I could pronounce the names, I wouldn't want to. They're pointless. It's a trilogy. It's a movie. I don't want to watch a game that I should be playing. Honestly, Xenogears should have found a way to do another story, or it should have just been updated on another PlayStation system. The game had an awesome storyline, awesome characters, awesome lives of characters, and I honestly believe that it should go down as one of the games that Square honestly thinks about remaking.
Okay.
And who wouldn't mind seeing a Xenogear or a Xenogear character somewhere in a Kingdom Hearts game as an optional boss?
They would never do that, because it's probably too dark for them, isn't it? It's a little blasphemous about it.
Yeah, they will probably never do it with Star Ocean characters either, although they're that close.
Alright.
That Disney also owns Marvel.
Oh,
think about it. Spider-Man versus Sora.
If they ever do Kingdom Hearts 3. the world might end before that comes out. But Duke Nukem is coming out Tuesday. Let's go to the next part. We talk about underrated. Let's talk about overrated games. Games that get way too much hype when they're not supposed to. This is probably gonna be the most controversial one right here.
I know.
So let's start with Jamal. Let's go down the line. Jamal, 1 and 3. What are some of the overrated games that you played during your life, or did you heard of?
Overrated. There was a game that everybody hyped up. It was a shooting game. Like, It was. I think it came around the time.
Just don't take my answer.
It might have been around the time as Grand Theft Auto 3. You remember that game they had, LA Crime, True Crime?
True Crime.
Yeah, True Crime.
Yeah. That was overrated. People around the way was hyping it up like it was going to be the next big thing.
Yeah, a lot of people said that.
It
and
was
even
hard.
canceled the new one. Look how it was coming out.
It was
Yeah,
fun.
so that was a bad game. Overrated. Do it have to be a game that sells a lot, or does it?
No,
it can sell a lot, but to you it's overrated. It can still sell a lot.
If that's the case,
like
I think the Call of Duty games are overrated. I don't like them at all.
hate you too.
Sorry.
I don't like Call of Duty.
The whole war genre.
I'm cool with Halo, but no Call of Duty. And
Eric Johnson, everybody.
And NBA Elite. That's it.
Yeah, I give you that. Well,
I mean, Live is dead. They're done.
Yeah.
So people still hype them up sometimes. So.
All right, Mark. Do you have any overrated games?
I would start with sports. I think the first Madden that was on the next generation it had so many kinks that had to be work out, but just the simple fact that Madden's going to the next generation. Madden's going to the next generation. That was looking great, and it was like, I honestly didn't like I didn't like the next generation Maddens until like the third one. So it was like 2000. We're in 2011 now. So 2009 was the Madden I liked. Okay. So the first couple ones was like, great. It's on the next generation. That's nice. I'll still buy the one on PS2. I was like, I'll still buy the one on PS2. But now it's finally caught up. And then I would go with the first Superman that was on PlayStation 2.
Okay.
You talking about Superman. You want to talk about Superman 64.
Worst game of all time.
That's my answer. Sorry, we're going to talk about that later, but that's probably my answer. Worst game.
To me, all four of us agreeing with everything we hate about that game.
Sucks.
To me, that was pretty horrible when it got on PS2. And I mean, I was never a Superman fan, but I was like, this might be pretty cool. And it's terrible. It's like, it's atrocious. And no offense, Jamal, to me, Halo will always be overrated. That's just my personal opinion. So, that's it.
In all honesty, folks, guys, I just want to let y'all know this really is Eric Johnson here. So nobody get all creeped out. Final Fantasy VII. That game, yes, it's kind of like ripping my own heart out, but sometimes you just got to look the truth in the face and say, I agree. Final Fantasy VII is too overrated. Everybody puts so much love and affection into, oh my God, it's Cloud Strife. Who cares? In all honesty, if they would have just released Crisis Core for PlayStation and then Crisis Core and then another version of Crisis Core for the PSP, I would have been fine and good with it. Cloud's not everything, folks. Cloud is not God. Sephiroth has proved that more than once. When it all comes down to it, it's a long game with a lot of tedious events, and in all honesty, I don't really know many people that could ramble off the entire storyline of what was going on in 7 as you could do with all the other Final Fantasies. It's not that it was just long. It seemed a little pointless at times. Like, I mean, in all honesty, why should I have to play a snowboarding minigame? I don't really like the snowboarding minigame. And then I need a gold bird to get some summon material. You know, folks, I don't condone it, but that's why I Game Sharked it.
Game Shark, there it is. There's one.
Now, another overrated, I'll have to say series, Xenosaga. In all honesty, I tried playing the first one, I didn't like it. Tried playing the second one, I didn't like it. The closest thing I came to liking one of them was 3. And in all honesty, I just really didn't care about the storyline. I just wanted to do cool things with the characters.
It's too far along.
It's too much. Believe it or not, once again, folks, this is Eric Johnson.
Which one now?
This is Eric Johnson. YouTube named the Necromancer, star with a 3, not an E. Kingdom Hearts.
Okay, because I agree with you on that too.
Kingdom Hearts. They did too much with Kingdom Hearts.
Bandwagon jumpers.
Honestly, folks, please, anybody who does like Kingdom Hearts, I'm not saying I don't like it. I enjoy the game. But do me a favor. If I want to understand the storyline, put the order of the games I should play in as a combo. Maybe I want to know from beginning to end what's going on. Because in all honesty, you would have to play 358 and a half days. Then you might have to play Birth by Sleep or Birth by Sleep in 358 and a half days. But you can't play 358 and a half days because the Heartless came before the Nobodies, and the Nobodies are now here. But what's going on? Somebody please post that for me. Thanks.
He said thanks. Let's see. Overrated games. There's a lot of them.
Clearly.
But if I was to have to pick 3 overrated games, everybody's already said Call of Duty and you said Final Fantasy, Halo. Everybody said that. I kind of think the Resident Evil series is getting a little bit overrated now.
Way overrated.
Resident Evil 4 was the last great Resident Evil game, in my opinion. A lot of people didn't like 4 though. It wasn't scary and it didn't have the the Resident Evil feel. But now 5 came out and everybody's like, "Oh, it's cool. It's gonna be the best game ever." I remember my friend told me he bought it the day it came out and he beat it the Sunday. He got on Friday, beat it on the Sunday, and he told me he was telling me the story and I was like, "This game doesn't sound interesting at all." I think the co-op killed Resident Evil 5, and now they're releasing a cover-based shooter for Resident Evil Raccoon City. It's stupid. The series is getting kind of stale. It's time to put the horror back into it, but I think it's really overrated. But people praise it too much. When there's games like Silent Hill. I think Silent Hill is a much better series, and
it's not that really that great.
I think Dead Space is the king of survival horror games right now. Another overrated game or series I had to say is let's see. Some games I play right now. What do I play that's overrated? Or what about? I have to go with you. I think Legend of Zelda is a tad overrated. It's the same game. It's the same mechanic over and over and over again. You start off as Link. He doesn't know he's got to save the world. You gotta do 3 dungeons. Oh, you get to do 3 dungeons. You get the 3 pieces of whatever you need. You get the Master Sword. You do 5 more dungeons and it's over. You face Ganon and it's over. That's how Legend of Zelda each game is.
I did like the one Legend of Zelda where they used a little slang. You had to go into Ganon's crib.
Which one was that?
I believe that was that Legend of Zelda 2?
I think so. It might have been 2.
The final stage was Ganon's crib.
Ganon's crib.
Yes.
But the same thing, if I just say Legend of Zelda overrated, Mario is the same thing. In each Mario game, what are you doing? You're collecting stars for somebody. You're doing something. You're being an errand boy. There's overrated series. I mean, they're great games. They're all great, but they're just people make them over. I don't know. They're
hype.
They're overhyping it. If you like Zelda, I mean, there's other games like Zelda that it might be even better than Zelda. It's overrated. You gotta look at other games out there but Legend of Zelda, all you're doing the same thing over and over. 3 dungeons, 5 other dungeons after that.
No, I'm gonna say another series that I just thought about that I thought quickly got overrated was Grand Theft Auto. Because it just became...
I should have said that.
I thought you were...
That made that face.
No, I really do. I mean, you want to talk about doing the same thing over and over again? I got these missions, but at any point I can get out and run people over and shoot people and do whatever else. Well, that's so fun. That gets boring after a while.
It's overrated.
After a while, folks, you get tired of playing in the same sandbox.
That too. Yeah, there you go.
Wow, that was a great reference.
So I think that got overrated very quickly. And I never really played Metal Gear Solid, but I thought at a certain point that was a little overrated.
Yeah, it's just because the story. No, don't do that, Jamal. What? You got?
You can
even a shot, Jamal. Give him a shot. But,
I'm just asking. I mean, again, I never played this. I don't know how legitimate I can say that. But
all the top series and games are all overrated.
Overrated.
And
there's too many fans out there for each series.
I don't mean to take a step back right quick, but I just thought of 2 more underrated games. There are so many, but this will be my last 2, I promise. If you haven't heard of it, another game introduced to me by my friend here, and I'd love to see this game mechanic used in more games. Super Robot Tyson OG Saga Endless Frontier. That game was awesome. It was for the Nintendo DS. It was, how many Nintendo DS games do you know you can honestly do over 100,000 points of damage with 1 attack? It was a great RPG for the DS, and it will probably be an even better. And it will probably be an even better RPG if it was released on an actual console. I would love that. Another series, Tales of.
Oh my God!
I praise Namco or whoever's taking control of the Tales of series now for bringing more over here. I thank gosh, because the new fighting system is epic. Tales of Xillia. Xillia. It is just complete awesomeness wrapped in greatness, toppled with sugar and bacon.
And bacon.
But yeah, random crazy comment from this guy right here. It's just great. Honestly, I'd love to see Tales of Fantasia Nico Dungeon X released over here in English. It's a great game. It has even some Final Fantasy elements in it. It takes the class change system and applies that to Tales characters. How awesome is that, folks? How awesome is that?
Well, I got
saying.
One more underrated game just reminded me of something, and then I'm done with underrated. Alright, ain't no game, but it got buzz, but I don't think it got the buzz it should have got. Was Heavy Rain.
Thank you.
I
my
think,
gosh.
Like that, because again, I saw Marcus play it before, and just the concept of it was something new, and I didn't think it got enough publicity or enough PR that it should have got. And it was like, why? It was something new. It was different.
And the reason that is because it's not a war game. It's not a first-person shooter. And it's not a 360. That's the reason it didn't get a lot of publicity.
Yeah.
All right.
Touche.
But let's go to the next subject, and that's going to be video game series that have lost and they should bring back. Maybe some game series from the Sega Genesis era, and maybe from PS1 era. What are some series that should return? Let's start with you, Bubba. What do you think of series that you would like to see return?
Honestly, if they were to reuse some of the mechanics, this might be ripping one from you. Breath of Fire, a good Breath of Fire.
I need to go first next time.
That's what you're trying to do.
I'd love it.
Definitely need to go first.
Again, Xenogears, not Saga.
Oh, yeah.
Gears. A really good one.
But nobody's gonna take the one I have because nobody played it as much as I have.
Let's see. If I had to say, they're doing good with Sonic.
But you want to go back to the core. You want to go back to the.
Yeah.
And Sonic 4 was good, but it's not. It didn't have that feel of a Sonic game. Sonic Generation's coming out, so.
I would say Mega Man. A good Mega Man. I respect what they're doing now. How they're even taking it back to the 8-bit. That's awesome.
Maybe Legend Story's coming out first. So.
Yeah. And I'll come back.
I would actually, like I said before, I thought it was an underrated series. I would go in reference to what I would want them to bring back if they could do it correctly. Would be Crash Bandicoot. So if they can bring that back to like the next
if Naughty Dog got back on board, the original developers.
That's what I'm saying.
They're doing so many remakes, but it's just not Crash. Like he literally, okay, granted, Crash did look crazy in his games, but now he literally looks like his body stood here and his mind got on the boat and the boat's up the street. Bible study reference. But he just looks like he completely lost his mind. Like, how does he even formulate a whole sentence up here?
Yeah. And then
Can he even talk yet? Or is he like Link? Just,
I bet Link talks in the Zelda HD one when it comes out.
But the game that I would like to see come back would be if they did Perfect Dark again. Just redo it on the new generation.
I mean, it did 360 version, the Perfect Dark Zero, but
that wasn't the same.
Sorry. Jamal, you got any game series that should return that you think that deserves a second chance?
Probably nothing y'all would like, but
no, come on.
You never know.
Sure.
I liked this racing game. It was called Jet Moto.
Yes! Keep it going.
Jet Moto.
That was
They gotta bring that back.
Yeah.
The one stage where you had that long hair drop, so awesome. Yeah. I love that stage.
I miss that game, man. They gotta bring that back. I'm so.
It's a Jet Moto.
Jet Moto. I guess if I had to name three, I said Jet Moto. Crash Bandicoot, that was a good one.
Isn't there a Jet game, should say?
Jet Set Radio Future, yeah.
Wait.
That's a good one too. Haven't got one for. Actually, they did. They need to bring Jet Set Radio Future back, and there's one more game. I guess they need to bring back Day of Reckoning. Just bring out one more. Just to see
the Wii U. Come on. They need a game. They need a wrestling thing.
In all honesty, nobody will honestly probably know. Well, my friend here, my brother here, he'll know this game, but the other two probably won't. I would love to see them bring back Jay Cocoon.
Yeah, okay.
I know that game.
Oh, you know?
Yeah,
Jay Cocoon. I love that game.
It
was awesome. Jay Cocoon 2, again, somebody's going to steal it. That's what she said. Sucked. It sucked really hard. Yeah. Like, You mean to tell me if all my monsters die and I get hit 3 times, then I die, and a demon part takes over my body, wins the battle?
Demon part.
Yeah, like I can get the tail of a demon or whatever. It was a horrible, stupid, crappy concept.
Yeah, the storyline.
Like, come on. The original. All right, I get what game systems are trying to do, like re-image things and whatnot. But sometimes you just gotta keep the original.
The way it was.
The original.
Yes.
It was great. It was great. I mean, it doesn't work for everything, but a lot of the things it does work for. Honestly, a funny one I would love to see brought back just for 10 gigs, like Crusader. That would be hilarious.
You need to get out of my head.
Continue. I'm sorry.
I just thought of a game. This game was crazy. It was hard. I actually broke my controller playing this game. I don't know how I thought of this, but they should bring back Spyro the Dragon. All right, now I'm done.
If Insomniac did it.
I know what you're talking about.
That game was good.
I started hating dragons after that.
Spyro the Dragon.
And I played Dungeons and Dragons, folks. I started hating dragons after that.
Spyro the Dragon. I love that.
The remakes they did weren't good.
Same thing with Crash. Like after Naughty Dog and Insomniac banned both series, they just kind of started sucking. Underrated. No, what are we on? Series that should return. Wow.
That's alright.
Series that should return.
Wrong question.
My top series that should return. Once again, Bubba, you're gonna notice is Shining Force from the Genesis era. That's my favorite strategy RPG of all time. And I want to see a Shining Force, not a Shining Tears, Shining Arc, Shining Force. That's what I want to see back. I think Sega did it right.
Again, like I said, keeping it to the original.
Right. I think that could be a fantastic series. Wild Arms. They didn't. Wild Arms 5.
Yes.
They did a great job back in 06, but with 2011 and in a drought of Japanese RPGs, Wild Arms could flourish over here in the United States. Another series that should come back. I'd say Alundra. I mean, I know Working Designs is dead now, but I think it's time to bring it back. Just see if maybe people will try it again. So let me get one more in there. I know I said 3, but let's see. Another game I like, Beyond Oasis. Nobody really knows it. They had a Sega Saturn sequel, and I didn't play it because it's on Sega Saturn.
I'm about to say no.
Who plays Sega Saturn? Sega Saturn here.
No, really Sega Saturn.
So I really like to see a Beyond Oasis 3D kind of thing. They could make it work. I think Sega had enough people to do it, but
I can agree.
And they are bringing back Shinobi. I was going to say Shinobi, but they're bringing it back for 3DS. So
I'd like to see a game series. I'd like to see brought back, and I'm glad my friend here said Working Designs. Arc the Lad. Arc the Lad, not Arc the Lad, Twilight of the Spirits, or Arc the Lad, End of Darkness, or No, those games were crap. They both sucked really hard. Bring back the original Arc the Lad, please. The Arc and the Alec. That's all we need. They would trash both of these new heroes. Really quickly.
Is it a fighting game that came out? I just want to make sure.
And Fighting Force.
Fighting Force is alright.
I think I know.
I think he took
that game would be hilarious.
I just think he took mine.
It was with the 4 people, the big black guys on the cover like this.
And they had to fight through each map.
Yeah. Oh! Streets of Rage. Sorry.
Yes!
It was called Full Force.
Fighting Force.
Along with Streets of Rage, Golden Axe.
And they had a girl on it.
Oh, they tried to bring Golden Axe.
They had a girl. No, wait.
It wasn't a brawl. It was a girl, and she was slashing through. It was a beat 'em up. It sucked.
And one board on Fighting Force, is they fighting in a train?
Yeah.
Alright.
I'm sorry. I
get points for that.
I didn't even take
What's that? Fighting Force.
I can't believe that.
Wow. The next topic is going to be a long one. I know it's probably a half-hour video, but
it's only a half hour.
Right, probably longer.
That's about
I can't tell, but the next topic is going to be talking about the best console ever. But first, we need to do it by generation. So Nintendo was probably by itself. I know there's ColecoVision. I'm sorry, forget that. I'm not going all the way back there. Nintendo. Let's start at Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis.
Let's start when we could actually read the cartridges.
Exactly. Seriously.
What was the better system between Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis?
Super Nintendo.
Why?
Mario World was on it. All the games out. Killer Instinct was on it.
So all the games from your childhood, right? Okay. Mark, do you have a favorite console between those two?
That's a good one. I mean, I had them both. I had them both, and I liked them both pretty equally. But I probably would lean more towards Sega. More so for Sonic than anything else.
Right. Oh, yeah?
I mean, this is gonna be a tough one for me. Yeah. I've owned both. I've played both. I've loved both.
Yeah. Both were classics.
Both had great mascots. Both had great games. But here was the defining factor for me. You had Street Fighter on the Super Nintendo. Then you had Mortal Kombat primarily on the Genesis.
There's some censored on Mortal Kombat.
Yeah. And then after a while, they switched. So both systems had both types of games. The honest to goodness setting apart factor to me was the Mario versus the Sonic.
Right.
In all honesty, I like the Sonic a little more because after a while, and I'll prove to you why, they got Knuckles. Yeah. Him being my favorite character, and believe it or not, Knuckles is that much faster than Sonic. Yep. The reason I honestly would like, alright, screw it. Y'all put Sonic in Brawl, put Knuckles in Brawl. I don't want to see him running in the background. Thank you.
I hope y'all.
But if I had to choose a system, I'd probably have to say Genesis.
I'll pick Mario against him.
Genesis and Super Nintendo, great consoles.
Trash with my eyes closed.
If you were to ask me, when I first started playing them, it would be Sega Genesis because that's what I had. Shining Force, Beyond Oasis. I had Sega Channel. You get all the games for free, you know. So I play a lot of games from Sega. But if you were to ask me now,
I know, seriously.
If you were to ask me now, being 20 years old and looking back at the console, Super Nintendo wins because Super Nintendo wins for me because I'm an RPG buff, and that's the console that had every RPG. It had Lufia, it had the Super Mario RPG.
This is true.
It had Star Ocean 1. It had all the great RPGs that nobody even knows about. So if I had to look at it from that point,
I'm a loser. I'm sorry, folks. For one reason, I have to switch back to Super Nintendo. It was the only game I achieved all endings in Chrono Trigger.
So Chrono Trigger. Final Fantasy 3 was on there. I mean, there's a lot of great RPGs on there. But
nope.
Sonic was my game. I'm not done.
Sonic was my game.
I'm not picking Super Nintendo though. But I'm just saying, there's a good. I was trying to help you. I was trying to help your argument, and for Bubby too. There's a lot of good RPGs on there. But for me, for nostalgia factor, I think Sega for me because Sonic 1, 2, and 3, or Sonic 2 specifically, was like my favorite game from that generation. You know, Shining Force got me into RPG games. But for me, Sega Genesis had them more. It's closer to my heart.
That's right.
So, and that's what I'm going for because I want better.
Yep.
Agree with that. So let's go to the next generation. That would be Sega Saturn, PS1, 64, and Dreamcast. Out of those four consoles, which one was the best?
We'll say that again.
Sega Saturn, PS1, 64, and Dreamcast.
Can I go first?
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't.
Oh wait, no, that's that's all different.
Honestly, I had more PS1 games, but to me, 64 was better. For the simple fact of, like I said, GoldenEye, the first person shooter I played, that was like my first game.
Right.
And then it's like I associated with me, that's my game. And then Perfect Dark, like I said, like all those first person shooters up until Red Faction.
Two Sega systems on
there. Yeah, no.
What though?
That's because Sega Saturn. I just put it in there because I feel bad for it. You know I played it.
So to me, that was like 64. Besides No Mercy and all that, 64 got me into what I would consider crime or action type of games or whatever. So to me, that's why. Even though I had more PS1 games, I would say 64 probably was my favorite system.
Well,
mine is Saturn.
Let me put Saturn out there because no one cares about it.
It
had Parents Dragoon and
it's
that
like
was
his
it.
ugly brother just sitting there.
Explain me. It was the redheaded stepchild.
Exactly.
Out of those three systems, it's definitely hard because there was something on every system.
Exactly. That's what I was gonna point out.
No, definitely. Except for Sega Saturn, I can stand that system. But anyway,
let's see.
They have one new game.
No.
Two.
Like Nintendo 64, for instance, it's easily the most overrated game ever. Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time.
It's my favorite. It's the best game of all time.
But
sorry.
But it is. I'm not debating it. I'm just saying it's over. I didn't say it wasn't the best. Right. I said it's most overrated.
Hurt my heart.
I love my Link, man, especially in Smash Brothers, which was my next point. and Super Smash Brothers. Come on, he was probably the most beastly character, in Super Smash Brothers, along with Captain Falcon at the time. Then, along with Captain Falcon, you had F-Zero. That game was awesome.
That says a lot of series.
Along with that, you also had Majora's Mask. Along with that, you also had You had Kirby 64. Like, I mean, the lineup that they had for the characters only grew bigger and made you want to experience these characters outside of a fighting game. So, in short, a Brawl /64, I apologize, folks. Super Smash Brothers, the original, opened up the gateway to so many more games, to so many more lifestyle choices in games, and it just made you want to experience more than just whatever you were used to. Like if you were used to first-person shooters, well, maybe you wanted to find out, well, I wonder how Fox's game was. I wonder how Kirby's game was. I wonder how Super Mario 64 was. And it led you to so many other different roads of game choices to choose from. Then you have also the Dreamcast, which originated Skies of Arcadia.
Exactly.
Which was just one of the greatest evolution. It was one of the greatest RPGs I've played. Then came Evolution. I loved Evolution. Then they did Evolution Worlds. It wasn't all that great because it gave you the Evolution 1 storyline in a 2-hour nutshell. You could honestly beat Evolution 1 on like level 25, maybe a little less, and then you got primarily Evolution 2.
My god!
It was.
I forgot a series, but
it was so hard. But I honestly did like the Dreamcast because that's where I first played Phantasy Star Online. I love Phantasy Star.
Oh crap! Another one. Gosh!
I forgot about Star Fox. That's another reason why I like 64.
But taking it back, did you say PS1 was one of the choices?
Yeah.
Then you got to go to PS1. That's where I first played Marvel vs. Capcom.
Oh goodness!
I enjoyed that game to the fullest.
This is hard, man.
Yeah, this is one of the hardest.
The next one's easy for me.
That's where I first played Marvel vs. Capcom. And although I'm a little more intelligent and I'm a little more wise to my decisions, back then I wasn't. So yes, Final Fantasy VII was the greatest game in existence to me. There was nothing that topped Final Fantasy VII RPG wise.
Not beating it.
So I mean, honestly, I'll have to chop my body up and stand on 3 different points of the line. I honestly just can't choose one for this one.
No. Jamal, do you have a favorite of the 3? I want to say Saturn now. Forget it. Dreamcast, PS2, PS1, and
Dreamcast.
I like the way Jaguar looked.
Dreamcast was solid, but I didn't really get into it that much, other than the 2K series.
Right. Yeah, that did start the 2K series. It was good.
Here's where it gets tough. Similar to Mark, I had more PS1 games. 64 and PS1 is.
It's really close.
It's so close. 64, you had the Mario Karts.
Yeah.
Smash
Brothers.
You had a game that I really loved as a kid. You had Pokemon Stadium. I liked it.
Pokemon Stadium, Pokemon Snap. Even though that's when they need to bring back Wii U.
I gotta say something, but
Yeah, you had Star Fox. Oh man, Diddy Kong Race. 64, man. No Mercy.
Yeah, it was fun. Where's a good creator
They had so many games, man. 64, and then the PlayStation, you had SmackDown series.
Ridge Racer.
You started on Madden. Madden series. That's where
Live.
Second filter.
When Live was good.
Live. was good.
Yeah, there's so many that's originated on that system now.
You know, Live. Chat Moto, you know.
Chat Moto reference.
Man. Crash, baby.
Exactly. Yep. The original. Yep.
All started there. You know, so.
007.
No, that was one.
I mean, I'm going back to 64 on that one. 007 for the 64, which paved the way for
any shooter.
Any first-person shooter.
Yeah.
I mean, that was the game before Halo that I used to play all the time. Perfect Dark was solid. PlayStation, man. Tekken with PlayStation.
Oh,
I was gonna say, actually, can I say, before after you get done, I want to say something.
Yeah, Soul Edge started
So-
Soul Calibur series.
Yeah,
So,
oh
PS1,
my
so.
gosh.
Somebody agree.
The reason I gotta go with PS1 is because as a kid growing up, that was the first system that had a CD player. I used to hate blowing the one putting it in.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, CDs get scratched, but you know what else I used to love? Not only did I play the game on there, but I listened to music on there.
That's
PlayStation.
True. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to go with PlayStation, but it's
It's
I'm not. You
it's
can
a
go
thin
either
line.
way.
It's a thin
You
line.
can go either way, but
It's like a close race.
One more
I
point I
love
want to make,
64, but
folks.
you gotta go either way.
There was a great game on Dreamcast. If you haven't experienced it, play it. I'm not sure if it originated on PS1, but it's called Psychic Force 2012.
Yeah,
The game was epic.
Said
It was
last week.
it was a fighting game out of this world. Like you literally never touched the ground. Honestly, the game, I said this last week, it's even spawned an anime, or maybe the anime spawned the game. I'm not sure how it came about, but it's awesome. Just check it out, look at some gameplay. Who knows? You might like it, you might want to play it.
Let me just say something. This is a quick one. Dreamcast started the online playing, right?
Basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dreamcast is up there though.
So it's mean.
I mean, it lived short, but
I don't know many people who had the online for it.
But yeah,
I
I didn't even know it.
You want to say something?
No, I was gonna say I'm gonna kind of stick. I'm gonna actually kind of re-switch my answer to a two-part because I just thought about. I forgot about Tekken, and then.
I didn't see
I've been thinking about Tekken. Because Tekken, that was my first fighting game that I really liked. Tekken, and then obviously, like I said, with
topics,
with Madden and Live starting on there. But I would look at it like this, and I just without the beginning when they first came out, I would say 64 because you had GoldenEye, you had Perfect Dark, you had Red Faction. Then from like when did the 64 version come out?
97, 98.
Okay, so from like 97 to 98, I would give Nintendo, and then from like 99 until PS2, I would give PS1. So that's how I would retract what I said first. So the beginning was 64, but after 99 and beyond, it became Sony. So, yeah. Ultimately, I would go with PS1.
For me, PlayStation 1 is a clear winner for me. If you look at both consoles, if you look at all consoles, Sega Dreamcast had the tradition. You know, you had Sonic, they had Skies Arcadia, and nobody's referenced this yet, which I'm highly upset. No, this is Dreamcast, my favorite game, Shenmue. Nobody's reference.
We had to leave something for you, right?
Touche. You know, but that had a tradition with because you know we had a lot of experience coming in. 64, same thing. You had all the top series on there. All the series from our youth were on there. Mario, Zelda, Star Fox, Kirby, Donkey Kong.
Yoshi too.
Donkey Kong. Nobody said Donkey Kong.
I never really played Donkey Kong.
Yoshi's Island, yeah. So,
Yoshi's
but for me, once again, looking back at PlayStation 1 was where the RPGs are at. Wild Arms, Thousand Arms, Suikoden, Final Fantasy, Tales. All these games, all these RPG games are on PlayStation 1. No.
Tales and Phony was game.
All my three favorite games of all time are on PlayStation 1. Breath of Fire, Alundra, Castlevania, Symphony of the Night. So, if all the favorite games come from the one console, it has to be my favorite. So,
that's a good point.
And that's going to my argument for favorite of all time. PlayStation 1 is. I knew I was going to play games for life when I played PlayStation 1. So, PlayStation 1 is a clear winner for me. Not saying 64 was bad, because Ocarina of Time is the greatest game of all time, but it's not my favorite. So, and Dreamcast, of course.
What's the greatest game?
For me, that's Ocarina of Time. Because without Ocarina of Time, there would be no action adventure games.
That's true, especially like that.
Open world like that. So I had to give all credit to that. Dreamcast has Skies Arcadia and Shenmue, but PS1 for me was the top. Next generation, let's go to PS2, GameCube, Xbox. I'm going first because you guys beat me up.
Wait, what was the choices?
PS2, Xbox, GameCube. Once again, now it's not even close. Well, it's close, but PS2 wins again. Xbox, it started off, when Microsoft announced they making a console, I was skeptic, but I played it. Shenmue 2 came out for Xbox. Just a Real Future, Dead or Alive.
I'll be right.
Yeah. Dead or Alive, Shenmue 2, Jet Set Radio, They had this game called Breakdown. I thought it was really good. Nobody really played it. Told you guys about it last week.
Slaves are
legs sleeping. Your legs.
No, I just had to throw something up.
But GameCube, once again, tradition was on the GameCube.
Yeah.
But what killed the GameCube for me did not have any RPGs. Tales of Phonia and Beating Kaitos were the two big passions of the game I was talking about for underrated. But PS2 had all the RPGs. It started my Nocturne. It started my Shin Megami Tensei cream. So, there's none. PS2 just changed my life. Jack and Dexter, Ratchet and Clank. You can't compare. The Xbox and GameCube didn't have these series. I mean, Super Mario came out on GameCube, but nobody liked Super Mario Sunshine really. A lot of people hated Wind Waker, but
I think Wind Waker should have won as underrated.
Yeah, underrated. It's really underrated.
It was a great game.
I'm on a boat, but
don't you ever forget.
But for me, PS2 had all the RPGs once again. And for me, when I was in a game in that time, that's what I look for. Japanese RPGs. If you had that, you're gonna be my favorite console. So PS2 wins that generation.
This is honestly true. Put me on a springboard because I'm jumping on this bandwagon. PS2 hands down. PS2 spawned my love, in all honesty, for Wild Arms. I loved Final Fantasy X. I loved all the RPGs on it. I get some of my greatest matches in Time Splitters with this guy on it. That honestly should go in as one of the most underrated. Time Splitters was pure first-person shooter fun.
That's what.
Whereas if you want like a good serious, first-person shooter PvP kind of thing, yeah, you want to go to Halo. I'm not gonna lie, that's where you get your seriousness from. If you want a little more serious. If you want a little more, what's the word I'm looking for? Modern day serious, you might want to go to Call of Duty or one of those. Yeah. But in all honesty, if you're looking for just pure fun, pure enjoyment without the hassle of you're a hack and all of this, you're doing all of that, go to Time Splitters. My favorite character was the monkey with the minigun. What more can you ask for?
Yeah.
He was so hard to hit, unless it was with a brick or a bat. Anyway,
bricks and bats.
But yeah, I have to say PS2. Props given, of course, to GameCube, and at the time, once again, I wasn't as wise, so I bashed Xbox because it was Xbox. But you gotta honestly give respect to all game systems, because all game systems in their infancy have done something that other generations have failed to do. They've all done something other generations have failed to do. Xbox was the first one to implement you could have your own soundtrack for certain games that you played.
Took my PS.
Honestly, PS2 was a DVD player. Then GameCube offered. I mean, while
you play Game Boy on there.
Yeah, you could play Game Boy on it. I mean, come on, they took it back. It's awesome. It's just awesome. Like, but what was I gonna say? Props given to GameCube, because GameCube it revived the series. It revived the series that I enjoyed, Skies of Arcadia. It also revived Evolution and Sonic Adventure 2. Well, Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, excuse me. But I mean, and that's where Melee came from.
Yeah.
But I mean, I love all of those games, and I love GameCube because it was hard to break. Trust me, I've tried. I've gotten angry at a couple games. But it had the perfect handle for throwing.
Exactly.
But back on point, yeah, I'm going to honestly have to stay with PS2. I love
it. It's clearly it's PS2 to me. Like, to me, there was no other system on that level.
Xbox.
So, I mean, it was simply because, like I said, after '99, Sony became my system. So I didn't care whatever else they would make. That was going to be my favorite system. Right. So that's honestly, and for the reason of, I thought Sony always had better gameplay than other systems. It was easier to play. It was more in depth. It just to me was what you needed in a system. So it was, and it was a DVD player. You didn't need to buy a DVD player. You had one right there. So to me, PlayStation 2 was by far the best.
Are y'all serious?
Yes.
Quite serious.
What did I say?
Quite serious.
Now, I'm going to tell y'all what I think.
Yes.
GameCube sucked. Well, no.
It didn't
suck, but the sports games sucked. The only game I liked was the first 007 that was on there. I think it was called Fire.
Fire?
No, it was Firefight, I think.
Under Fire?
Probably. Yeah, it was probably that or Night Fire. Whichever one came first. It might have been Night Fire. That was it.
Let me take that back.
When the new generation systems came out, everybody out here got PS2 for Christmas. They knocked on the door and said, "Jamal, what'd you get?"
I'm sorry.
He said, I got Xbox. They laughed. I wanted to do something different. I told you I wanted to do something different. I wanted to do something different. Have something different from everybody. Take a chance. And I rolled with the Xbox. Out of all the systems, Xbox did have the best graphics. Out of all the systems, like Bumpy said, you could make your own soundtrack. It was, I think, the first system with a hard drive. You could actually
you didn't need a memory card.
Memory card.
So PS3 still needed one.
You know, I love that. You could rip CDs. Like he said with the soundtrack, you could rip CDs, play music while you playing the game. I thought that was sick.
That was innovative.
Of course, Halo was there, so I'm gonna have to go with PS2. And the only reason I picked PS2 was
He joking, right?
no, I
Marvel vs. Capcom 3 reference for all you fighting out there. Tell me that was one heck of a change up.
The DVD player. I'm sorry, Xbox had games, but PS2 had games. Smackdown.
Thank you.
Wow. Smackdown. Man.
Where we at? We gonna heaven? Like, I don't understand. All the one was just agree on one system.
Is gracious.
I think we all need a knuckle touch right there.
I mean, yes. Come on. PS2 gets Smackdown, Xbox gets Raw. Come on. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Oh God, that game.
Xbox, I love y'all, man. I'm glad I picked y'all, but PS2 had them games, man.
Okay.
The controllers were better too.
Thank you.
I'm very surprised.
The feel of the game was
Gotta
better.
get to the controllers.
Alright, well, let's go to the left. Let's go to the generation now that we're in.
I'm surprised you did that. As much as we had battles.
Wow, that was crazy.
I was jealous, man, with the PS2, man. I was like, man.
Dang.
That was a Smackdown.
Let's go to this generation.
Yeah, no,
PS3, Wii, 360. Let's go. Mark, you first. I mean, I know you don't play as many, but
it's simple. It's Sony and PS3. It's PlayStation. I told you after '99 that became my system. So, for all the reasons I said before.
I know you don't play as many.
Honestly, here's how funny it's gonna be. I can't even be biased on this one because Final Fantasy 13 came out on more than one system. It came out on both 360 and PS3. I respected it. I honestly enjoyed. My friends here, they don't enjoy the game as much, but that was the first. Xbox had one of the first person shooters I enjoyed the most, and that was Call of Duty. I played it. That was my first experience with good people turning a game that's always so serious into a big joke. It was just fun. You ever have a match with just using throwing knives?
Actually, that sounds fun.
It's quite hilarious.
Yeah.
Running around watching people get knives thrown at them or getting stabbed. That is the best. Until people started using cheap combinations of I can stab you from 2 feet away and you die.
And you die.
That's some cheating stuff.
I'm sorry I had to say it like that, but it's true. PlayStation 3 surprised us. I honestly have to say so. Who honestly saw, and be honest, folks, be 100% honest. After Marvel vs. Capcom 2, who saw MVC 3 coming out?
Nobody.
Who saw Marvel vs. Capcom 3 coming out?
You didn't see it, but you always speculated.
Yeah, that's true. Like, I hoped, and I hoped, and I hoped, and I hoped. And I have to say they dropped the ball with it. Honestly, they gave so many promises of we're gonna give you so many more characters. The Marvel vs. Capcom 2, probably the game that had the most characters to choose from in existence. And then they give it to us and they don't deliver. It's more so of a here we worked on it for a while. This is what you get. But they also they're trying to redeem themselves. Super Mario vs. Capcom 3, which in all honesty should just be about a $20 download thing to get all the new
$20.
Yeah, I say that. There aren't there, if I'm not mistaken, they're promising way more characters.
It better be 20 new characters.
Hey. $20. That would be fair. I mean, if they're more than likely going to get stages and everything.
They be killing DLC, man.
Yeah,
I like normal. Like $10 for like 2 hours.
That's just my set price.
Damn.
That's just what I believe. Honestly, I can't really say how much it should be because I don't have a lot of DLC. First, I have to actually get one of the 3 systems, but I know what I like. I can honestly say that I've played all 3 systems.
Okay.
The Wii had Brawl. PS3 had Marvel vs. Capcom 3. Now here's the kick. Xbox 360 had Tales of Vesperia. Easily one of the most difficult Tales games of all time. Easily. Because I mean, it felt like they took. We're gonna take some of you, Final Fantasy. We're gonna take some of you, Wild Arms, and we're gonna take some of you, Tales, and just go. Vesperia. The game was difficult. It was fun, and it had hilarious moments in it.
Are you? This is like watching a TV show.
Another swerve?
It's like waiting for something, man.
Another swerve.
I'm gonna have to say.
Come on! Shut up!
Folks, you honestly have no idea what this really is doing to me on the inside. I'm gonna have to say. PlayStation.
Yes! Yes!
Why? One reason. Don't be long. Why?
Why?
Yes.
Because that's where my home is.
Jamal, go ahead.
Home is where the heart is.
Yeah, you got it.
The Wii started this whole thing with the moving thing. So
yeah, and they also had the commercials about We Jack Off.
And Smash Brothers is on there. So you know. The Wii, man, it gets props, even though it sucks when it comes to wrestling and sports games. So,
of course.
Wrestling games. Don't get started on wrestling games on the Wii.
So the Wii is eliminated.
We is eliminated.
We eliminated.
PS3, just like the Wii, has a web browser. Blu-ray. It has, from what I like when I seen you play Heavy Rain. Metal Gear Solid 4. That's it. Xbox 360 is clearly the winner.
We're gonna see that coming.
Come on. I'm not going to even get into Halo, Gears, Xbox. Just go. That's too easy. That was the easiest question of the day.
Wow. You're so cocky.
It was so easy. I couldn't.
He has heart, folks.
This generation, I have to say, the Wii does its thing. The Wii has some great games. Legend of Zelda, Twilight Princess, both Mario Galaxies, Super Smash Bros. Brawl, No More Heroes 1 and 2. You know, these are all great games. Arc Rise Fantasia. PS3 has some great games. Heavy Rain, God of War 3, Infamous, Uncharted, Demon Souls. But once again, the deciding factor in each system for me
is RPG.
Is Japanese RPGs.
Yeah.
And what system had the most?
Xbox
360. Tales of Vesperia. Enchanted Arms. Lost Odyssey. Blue Dragon. All these great games. And by playing these games on the system, it opened me up to other games because I ran out of games to play. I had to play Dead Space, Dead Rising, and I generally became a Microsoft fan. So for this generation, Xbox 360 is my favorite console.
Koinosian High Five of Death.
Marco, I think.
I'm going to start the next system.
This is going to be. Now we talk about the best of all time, the best consoles of each generation. What is the best console ever?
That's a good one.
So I already know what mine is. I already told you. PlayStation 1 for me is the best console that ever came out.
I got mine.
Because of the games that came out with. It started my whole gaming. That was it. It had the Japanese RPGs on there, and it had the other great games. So PlayStation 1 for me is the best console that ever came out. Ever. So.
If I had to choose, it's not a home console. It's actually a handheld.
Yeah, we didn't talk about handhelds, but
I'm gonna go with PSP. I have to say PSP for one reason. Anything I want from PS1, I can get on PSP. Anything I want from Super Nintendo, I can get on PSP. I can do the same thing with Genesis. I can do it with Game Boy, Game Boy Advance. Hell, excuse my language. Heck, we're even getting to the point where we can do it with DS. Only thing I'm waiting for right now, this is just buying me time until I get my Vita.
Okay, best console of all time.
That's a good question. Because I think the best era... I think the best era of gaming system was 64 and PlayStation 1. And the reason why I say I would put PlayStation 1 over PS2 or PS3 is because PlayStation 1 started all of everything I like in PS2 and PS3. Well, and PS3.
Jesus Christ.
So I have to go with PS1 as the greatest system of all time.
You said
PS1 is the greatest system of all time.
That's when I started
my systems. Like that's what's like my start. The PS1.
Best console of all time.
PS1 started it all. PS1 started it all. So
no, that both y'all.
PS1 started it all. That was my first love, and that's why I gotta go with my second love, Xbox 360. I'm sorry, and the only reason I think that is because of technology. You get to play people across the world, start friendships, do stuff.
Friendships.
I mean, not like real friendships, but cool. Yeah.
You said start friendships.
It was a Facebook before Facebook.
You know, they got webcams on there. You could do things on the webcam. Xbox 360.
Well, the next topic on the list I have here is
you can do that.
What is that?
Have you done things on the webcam?
Don't need to hear it. Alright, anyway, the next topic I have written down here is best series of each generation.
I call dibs to start this one.
So
we did that already.
No, I said series that should have returned.
Best series.
That's tough.
So let's start with the 10. Yeah, I know. Of each generation. This is going to be another long one. So it's going to be, y'all going to be here all day. I ain't listening to me. So let's go with Nintendo NES, the first Nintendo. What was the best series on Nintendo? I mean, it should be easy.
I was going to say
it was Mario.
See, between Mario and Mega Man.
That's true. I gotta go with Mega Man then.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I love my Mega Man. I even remember my beat from Mega Man X.
That's all Super Nintendo.
Mario. But I like my Mega Man 2. Mega Man 2 also had the best Wily theme ever.
You just gotta write the right system this time.
Mark. You slapped again? I didn't think so. Shut your face.
Mark.
Oh, Nintendo would be Mario, because I never played Mega Man, so it would be Mario.
Sorry, Super Nintendo Sega Genesis. Super Nintendo Sega Genesis. What was the...
Mario. I didn't like Mega Man.
Hold on. Are you talking about between the two?
Yeah, like both systems. Like what system? No. What series from both systems?
Oh, so we're choosing both the systems.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, you can choose between them, like of that generation.
No, my fault. Sonic then. Sorry.
Generation. So you said Mario from the Super Nintendo Sega Genesis generation.
What?
What is the best series from the Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis era?
Let me see. Give me a second.
All right, for me, I would have.
Wait.
I want to go because you.
All right, fine. Go ahead.
For me, I think it would have to be Sonic, because Sonic had the most nostalgic factor for me. So,
Sonic.
High speeds and everything. Sonic 2, all day.
All right, my choice is gonna be based on an artist's background. I'm gonna say Mega Man X.
There you go.
Honestly, because I enjoyed the fact that after I killed the boss, like brutally murdered this boss through a magnet in its hard drive, I got to steal from it. And I got to steal its power.
Black people.
And I got to use its power to help slaughter and mercilessly kill its friends. I enjoy doing that. And then in all honesty, I like Super Nintendo because it had one of the worst games of all time on it, but it was just so much fun. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
Yes. Touche.
It was so much fun. And honestly, when you play it, Just listen to what the Green Ranger says when he does his special attack. Water Buffalo. It sounds so hilarious.
Buffalo.
It sounds so hilarious.
All right. Let's go to the next era. That would be actually here. PS1, Xbox. Well, PS1, 64, Dreamcast, and that's it. What was the best series?
Final Fantasy.
Madden.
Oh man.
I would have to go with Legend of Zelda. I think Legend of Zelda prospered.
Even though it started on Sega, but it switched over to PS1 and all of them, but to me, it's better on PS1.
I think Legend of Zelda prospered. The best game of all time to him, Majora's Mask afterwards. I think they prospered on 64. That was their best time. So Legend of Zelda is the best, so 64.
Granted. Honestly, I will have to defend something on 64 that Legend of Zelda did that I really did like. Master Quest.
And it's coming out for 3DS as well.
That was awesome. The dungeons were bigger. The bosses were harder. The dungeons were longer and the bosses were harder. I love that. It felt so good going through those long, hard dungeons. Just trying to add some comedy to the show.
Crash Bandicoot, Mario.
For the 64, right? You said
64, PS1, Dreamcast.
Dreamcast is NBA 2K. I thought 2K was the best for Dreamcast. 64. Wow, just blew the game. Mario Kart's there, and No Mercy. PlayStation 1, Crash Bandicoot series, and Live. NBA Live.
Alright.
Wait, for 64, I don't know we're doing all the systems. For 64, it would be GoldenEye.
Oh! Mine too.
Okay.
GoldenEye.
PS2, Xbox, GameCube, favorite series. 1. Overall, favorite series of that generation. Yeah. For me, it's gonna be Shin Megami Tensei. That's what
did you think?
And that's that whole series prospered from there. So, Nocturne, Devil Saga.
I'll have to agree with him, folks, because that's where I fell in love with my first. And this is the Shin Megami game I've coined for myself and taken unto myself, and that is Devil Summoner. I love that game, and I wish they had went ahead and finished the one for PSP. I honestly think that would have been friggin' fantastic.
I don't know how long it is.
And Devil May Cry was also on PS2.
I'm surprised neither one of y'all mentioned that when underrated games overrated.
I think it's right in the middle.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I think they're good.
Okay.
If you can buy a used one for $60, it's still in the middle.
Okay.
Alright, what about you, Mark? Favorite series from that generation? PS2.
Well, I'm not gonna lie. All I really bought was sports games. So since Madden and because I started buying 2K towards the end of the PS2 era, college. So from the 3 consoles, the one I would buy would be the PS2 versions, and from each one of those systems. I mean, from each one of those games. So it would be PS2 Madden version, PS2 college, and PS2 2K.
Jamal, favorite series from the PS2, Xbox, GameCube generation?
During that era, I fell in love with wrestling games really bad.
Oh,
so
yeah,
I'm gonna have to say the SmackDown series.
SmackDown.
That's when I really.
Okay. Let's go to the last generation where we're at now. PS3, Xbox 360, and the Wii.
I'll just get these out the way. Series, Halo. That's it.
Honestly, I would say, I don't know how long they're going to keep this running, but Batman Arkham City. I don't know how long they would, Arkham Asylum, and then obviously now Arkham City, and I don't know how long they're going to keep going. So if they keep going with that, that'd be my favorite series.
My bad. Halo and NBA 2K series.
Alright. Touche.
Your favorite series from this generation? Yeah, PSP and everyone. You could put PSP in there since this generation.
If I had to choose,
leagues.
I would have to say, and this is something I'm pretty sure the people here have heard about, but not many will probably agree with, Monster Hunter.
Okay.
Monster Hunter was a game that, although, yes, very repetitive, somehow and for some apparent reason, the game, like a black hole, just pulled you in and kept you there. The game went so far, it was one of the most bold games I've seen in a long time. The game doesn't even have a storyline. It puts you in a world where there's no true storyline. Here's how it works. Okay, you're some rank amateur hunter coming out of nowhere, and you talk to the village elder. She gives you $1,500, or for Mega Man Legends fans or Breath of Fire fans, she gives you $1,500 as any. She sends you into a house. From there, you sell what you don't need, and you start doing really horrible missions. After you do it, you work your way up, and then after you finish her quest, or if you're a little more bold, you go into the guild. That's when you start having to deal with stronger and tougher monsters. And some of those monsters, such as Fatalis himself, can just off you with one attack. Unless you had Guard Ink and Guard +2. Then it left you with a bar from here. Move your head, sorry. Left you with a bar from here to here. That's with Guard Ink and Guard +2. But
Monster Hunter.
it's a game that I enjoy. They're making a lot of remakes for it, so yeah, I'll have to go with that as probably one of my favorite. Honestly, Monster Hunter 1, the Plesioth, it was a water wyvern. It was quite difficult to beat, but once you beat it, you felt it gave you a sense of accomplishment to overcome these monsters. Then Monster Hunter 2, Tiger X, the introduction of a wyvern, a dinosaur, and a dragon. Why? Why? And then they released Monster Hunter 3. They dropped the ball with Genoga. No form of it is hard at all. Then they actually tried to do something a little more simple with God Eater. That was a little more simple. Back to the basics. Then they released Phantasy Star Universe. Phantasy Star Portable, which was great. But in all honesty, I'll have to stick with where my heart is on this one. Phantasy Star Portable. I love it. It's a great game.
For me, my favorite series from this generation is No More Heroes. Without a question. No More Heroes is, a lot of people know about it, but
Reaper.
it's hard to describe. You're a otaku who likes to, he buys a beam katana and he starts fighting these assassins. Great game.
He wants to have sex with a girl.
Well, it's a great game. One was better than two. It's a great series, but it's my favorite series of this generation. So, we got into by generation. What is the best gaming series of all time, in everybody's opinion? And I already got mine. It's Legend of Zelda.
Best gaming series?
Best gaming series.
Let's make this short and get to this wrestling fast.
What's your answer?
It started, without Ocarina of Time, we're going to be playing action retro games today. So.
Legend of Zelda.
I'd honestly have to say it teeters on the line to Final Fantasy and Shin Megami. That's what I'm going with.
Going back to sports, Madden.
Of all time?
Of all time. Starting in Sega. So that's sports is my thing. So that's my favorite game of all time.
Super Nintendo, the only sports game I played was called 10-Yard Fight.
Yeah, I know.
Bad.
Halo, Mario, come on.
Street Fighter, EX plus Alpha.
Hey,
Plus.
low.
No.
Can't wait for 4.
Okay.
Halo.
Anyway.
No, we're talking about good games though.
Anyway.
Well, it Madden.
Let's get
Final Fantasy.
Let's get on to the last topic because this is like an hour and a half video. What is the worst game that everyone's ever played?
Alright, hold on, flat out. Can we all just get a knuckle touch and get this one out of the way? Superman 64.
Yeah.
Anything with Superman was terrible.
You play that?
No, I'm sorry.
You never? Oh man, I can get a knuckle
Even
touch.
Spider-Man.
I hate that game.
Superman. Oh, all right.
Yeah, no.
That's not the worst game I ever played.
But you played it, right?
Yeah.
So
I experienced it, but
what was worse than that?
I experienced. No, it's not like that. Like Super Mario 64 is the worst technically game. What I said?
You said Super Mario.
I'm sorry. I love Mario.
Blasphemous.
Superman 64. I played it, but it was technically bad. Okay, it was bad. It's crap.
Is being nice.
But that's the worst game I played. That's not because it didn't hurt me. I didn't like it.
Fair enough. All right, so I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
All right, I'll actually change up.
The worst game that I played. Wow. What?
Enchanted Arms.
Worst game I ever played was Metal Saga for PlayStation 2. It's so bad, but I actually like it. But it's so there's no direction in the game. I'm wandering around my tank. I get robbed by old people
for $8 million.
It's just so bad. It's the worst game I ever played, but I'll play it again in a heartbeat because it's so bad.
Here's what you do, folks.
So
don't help the old man.
So you seen Superman 64?
No, I'm not gonna stick with that.
Are you seen Superman 64?
Well, then.
Going to Boris game. I'll come back to you, buddy.
Alright, yeah.
WF in your house. That's
WF?
WF?
WF in your house. Remember that?
Yeah, for the arcade game?
Yeah, it's
Alright. Bobby, you last. And we gotta cut this.
Worst game ever played? Zeno Saga.
Dang! Ever? Like, you gotta play anything worse. Because it hurt you. That's what it was.
Yo, man. It was a movie that you got to make choices in, and you got in random fights.
That's the worst game you ever played. That'd be sick.
It was either that. No wait, hold on. There's gotta be one worse. There's gotta be one worse.
Superman.
He said Superman.
I mean, something that hit close to home though.
That was close to home.
His face got really serious. Yeah.
Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was our video game chat for today.
I swear to God,
that was very long.
If I find the person that created that game,
Don't swear.
For myself,
done.
Bubby, True Greatness, and of course the legend Jamal Squire Holly, we're going to be talking about wrestling next, so we'll look at that video too. Thanks for watching. If you watched all hour and a half of this, and we'll see you next time.
For all you anime fans,
360 rules.